Hello guys, this is DBZ Tabs here to show you how to do better on sweep, at least the way I do it. So we're going to go with the blue color and we're going to go with Sukuna, Domain Gojo, 0.2 Gojo, and Yuta in Geto. Now if you don't have Geto, you can always use Kamo, which is a good debuffer. And if you don't have the blue 0.2 Domain Gojo, you can use the red Domain Gojo, which is also very helpful, since in sweep you can use other colors besides the one they are asking for, which is very good. Now we are going to start off with a debuff, and we're going to buff our characters as well. Use the abilities of each character to buff them so they can become stronger by themselves and deal more damage and crits as far as they go. Now we did get lucky and he did go twice for Gojo, which is very good. What I like to do here is I like to exchange between abilities for Geto, which is use one ability once and then use the other one, so that you always have both debuffs on all the time. Which is good because Geto always somehow has a lot of cursed energy, which is very good. Now for the recollection, I used the support recollection for him, which would also give us our ultimate faster. Now guys, be sure to check the opponent like I just did right now, because if you do that, you can always check how many debuffs and lacerations you put on the character, which is a very big help, because if you know what your opponent has as debuffs, you know what to do for the next turn. You don't need to do it always, but make sure once in a while you always check whether he has the debuffs on him or not. Now let's keep going. So now guys, make sure you try to do as much damage as possible, because unlike Tower, on sweep you only have 17 turns to be able to beat the opponent. So make sure you try to do this at least quickly. And I understand not everyone is going to be able to get 10. I barely can get 10 on any of these sweeps, but at least you can try to get at least 8 if that's your record, or 7, which would be good. So try to get at least 7 to level 7, so then you can get some really good rewards from the sweep. Even though you haven't completed it, you'll get basically all the rewards and be able to repeat it and get those rewards again and again, and be able to hidden potential your units really fast and really easily. Now getting to 10 would be helpful for the extra cubes and for the extra materials, but if you can't get to 10, which is very difficult, and I would suggest another video if you're trying to get to 10, because even I do not know how, and we did get a black flash, which is really good. Now make sure guys, you're always also knowing that every time it changes from phase 1 to phase 2, or from phase 2 to phase 3, he loses all those debuffs you put on him in the previous phase. So make sure you always check the debuffs again, and also make sure that if you switch the phases, to put all those debuffs back on him again before you do your ults. The reason that I did Yuta's ult right now is because Yuta's skills get an obvious buff after he has ulted, which is really good, and he gets his ult really fast. So I didn't really have to think about it. I really just went for the ult. Even though it's not going to do the most damage, it's still going to be helpful, because all of his attacks now are going to be dealing a whole lot of damage, and we could get those buffs and get another ultimate before phase 2 ends. So as you can see, 1.2 million from that. So let's keep going. But guys, remember to check the opponent, remember to do all your debuffs, and also make sure if your characters are buffed as well, because you want to buff your characters as well as while you're debuffing the opponent, which is very good, which is why you normally use a buffer and a debuffer for the opponent, which is very helpful. And also keep your ultimates to the right moment. So guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, for either the domain gojos, either red or blue domain gojo, you won't be able to use either of their domains on phase 3. So make sure you use them at a very good moment on phase 2, which would be the most useful for you to deal your damage, so you can get to the next phase as quickly as possible. Since both the domain gojos leave after a certain amount of turns, and 0.2 domain gojo leaves after his ult. So make sure you use it at a very good moment so you can get to the next phase on the next turn, which is the best usability for their ults on any of the sweeps, since they both leave. Now if you're using yellow gojo, the hidden inventory Gojo, now that's a different story because he doesn't go away. So now we're going to put some buffs on our own characters. We're going to be going for Yuta's ult and Geito's ult because like I said, you want to try to get to the next phase as quickly as possible after you use Gojo's domain. So let's try. Okay, see, 4 million, 8 million. See, we did a whole lot of damage with just Yuta right there. So make sure you do this for your characters. Now, if you don't have Yuta, you can always use, like I'm using, Sukuna, and you can use Blue Yuji if you want to use a physical attacker. There are a lot of good DPSs that you can use. I would suggest checking your characters and also checking which one of them would be the best DPS to do damage to the opponent while you're also trying to buff and support your own team. So now we're in phase 3. We're going to try to get to level 8 of the sweep, but I don't think I will be able to because I didn't really optimize the best of the situation. But I hope you guys understand that. Remember, both your debuffs go away from phase 1 to phase 2 and go away again from phase 2 to phase 3. Make sure you know that so you don't ult right after you switch a phase and then do very little damage. Make sure you're always trying to use your ults at the best moment as you possibly can. And again, check all of these debuffs effects, the lacerations, all the effects you're putting on the opponent, because that always helps you to know whether your ultimate or techniques will do damage or not. Now remember, you can also always buff your characters. Use the buffing ability of Sukuna to get crits, and also using Yuta's buff so you can deal more damage. But that is something that you need to choose whether you're going to do or not. The good thing about sweep, guys, is that you can always discard your attempt and try to do better in the next attempt, which is very, very useful so you don't waste your limited time of when you do this event. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this explanation video. I hope this helps some of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And thank you guys so much for watching. But we're going to finish this out. I do not think I'm going to keep this try of this event because I didn't do very good. But like I said to you guys before, getting to 7 is at least a milestone, which is good enough for you to get a lot of the materials and be able to repeat it without having any trouble. But thank you guys so much for watching. And if you need any other help, leave it in the comments. But see you next time.